Welcome to our mood boost class, and we'll just begin seated before we begin to move around. During today's practice, we will take some poses on the tabletop with some of the knees down near the floor. If that's ever a problem for you, you can feel free to move to your back, to go into figure four, whatever you need to do. Take care of yourself, cushion those legs, and I hope it goes well and you have a lovely feeling after class. So let's start in our seated position. Find the anchor, first of all, through the sits bones, so that these are our roots to the earth. That's on either side of the tailbone. Take the hands to the thighs. You can be kneeling, you can be seated and cross-legged, or you can be even on a chair, whatever works for you. Let's come into the body. Close the eyes, cut out any visual distractions. Find the root. Let's find the root through our sits bones, feeling the weight of the sits bones. On our inhale. On the exhale, feel the thighs gently drop towards the earth. If you are kneeling, you can just feel that weight of your thighs energetically, feeling the earth beneath us. Hands on the thighs for an extra feeling of groundedness. You can keep the palms up if you'd like to be in a more receiving mode as well. Find your breath somewhere there in the body. Find out where it's going. What's the geography of your breath? Where is it traveling when you inhale and when you exhale? So we're simply keeping an awareness to begin with of what the path of the breath is. Maybe it's going more to the right side or the left side. Some way to tap into knowing where we are in the present moment and how to address any tension, whether it's mental or physical. It's just being aware of where we are. So let's notice our breath and where it's going. Notice the inflow, the pause after the inflow of breath, and then the outflow of breath, the cleansing. The natural renewal that happens when you inhale, and that cleansing exhale. So this is our seated breath practice. Perhaps you begin to notice with the awareness of the breath comes an awareness of the body. Feel free as you exhale to drop the shoulders away from the ears and float those shoulder blades more towards the base of the spine. So we can allow some muscles to release along the neck, towards the neck, and allow more space in the spine, each vertebra at a time. Another inflow of breath and outflow. And now if you can join me in the visualization of inviting the breath in as if we are descending a staircase. So that energy is going down to the base of the spine, to the pelvis, as an inflow of the breath. So you feel that breath sending the energy down to the base of the spine as if you're descending a staircase. And now you're going to take the path upward on an elevator. So the entire torso is supporting that out breath. And you'll feel that lifting up from the pelvic floor, so from our root, all the way up the middle of the torso, and then the exhale. And then inviting that next breath in, just descending a staircase, and whatever beat, how many beats you'd like to take to get there, how many stairs, and then exhale, take that elevator back up to the top. This is elevator breath or cascade of breath. So allow that sense of cascading to translate to our movements today as we transition from one pose to another, catching our movements and our awareness of the movement. Another path of rotation of this breath. Really send that exhale out so you feel the contraction of the accessory muscles helping the breath. And on your next joyous inhale, flutter the eyes open and take your blanket to the base of your mat. If you are uncomfortable in child's pose, you can always come onto your back and hug the knees and roll side to side as we come into child's pose. So we're bringing that breath awareness into the spine as we come to the base of the mat and place a blanket there. And we're going to cushion the shins. So we find the anchor through the shins, not through our knees. We want to keep the pressure off the knees. If you have a nice blanket there, you can take your kneecaps to the edge of the blanket, and you'll notice that really helps. Slide the hips, bring the big toes together. And if you'd like to keep those knees wider apart, we'll slide the hips back over the heels and just feel the reach of the spine. Feel the release as you undulate the spine down to the mat. The forehead lands on the mat. Or you can hug those knees on your back. And just feel that curling of the spine, another curling in. If you're joining me in child's pose, you can also place a blanket behind your knees so that you take the flexion, the deep flexion out of the knees. This is your practice, customized for your body as we come into that awareness. Reach the arms long next to the ears. And take the forehead and give your third eye a massage as we release mental tension, rolling side to side very gently. You can even roll the body side to side if you're on your back. Notice the physicality of the breath. So in that inhale, you naturally feel the belly against the thighs. And as you exhale, you feel the belly contract. Invite the breath in, cleanse whatever you need to cleanse, inviting in brand new energy. And exhale out what you don't need. Whatever you brought to the mat that you'd like to leave behind, breathe it out. And as we do this breath, just in a stillness, we notice that the breath is not stillness, the breath is movement, right? So you can feel that breath traveling the spine, causing some undulation to the spine, very subtle. And then we're going to roll the spine side to side, just like you're rolling out a thin layer of dough. When you make a long piece of dough, you just roll it out with your hands. So we're just doing that with the spine, releasing. Maybe you feel a micro release along the spine as you roll side to side. Finding the breath again. Beautiful. Travel with your breath. And then curl up the spine into a seated position. And at the top of the spine, we'll just take a gentle twist. So we're kneeling here, taking the fingertips beside us. Really inhale through the entire length of the spine and exhale, draw a circle around yourself, take an easy twist to the right. Maybe look over your shoulder behind you and trace back to the center, inhaling, exhaling, looking over to the other side. Allow that path of your gaze to follow with you, but no forcing into our neck. We're just going to take another undulation, feeling the rising and falling of the breath. I think I said another breath, not another undulation. Either way. Let's come to the other side. Excellent. I'm going to switch my position so you can see me. Take the fingertips and we'll grow those roots into the base of the earth through the fingertips. And we find that anchor of the sits bones as we inhale to the crown of the head, feeling the rising and exhale. Now, before we take our neck release, let's do that same staircase breath, going down the spine and then up the elevator. So nice core work here. And then we're going to take our gaze over the right shoulder. And as you come through back to center, gaze around you in your space, just define your space for yourself. Take the chin over the left shoulder. Bring yourself into this sanctuary of space that you created for yourself today, just through this movement of practice on the mat. Let's look the other way again. As you keep the heart tall and joyous, look over the left shoulder. Come back to center. Let's look up at our sky Just inviting in the beauty of the sky and through your inhale. As you exhale, bring the chin down to neutral. And then we'll tuck the chin to the jugular notch. So that's between the two collarbones, just feeling the stretch on the back of the neck, keeping that sternum nice and tall and broadness across the collarbones. Nice simple structures here to support the spine health. Inhale, let's look up. And now we're going to look over our right shoulder again on the exhale. Tuck the chin towards the right shoulder. So really reaching and pressing through your left fingertips. Draw the line down through the center, looking down again. So you're tracing the collarbone. And then simply rise up to a neutral chin. And then exhale over your left shoulder. And let's dip that chin towards the shoulder, left side. And trace inward. All kinds of micro muscles joining us in the bow. Inhale, look up at the sky again. Feel that gentle back bend on the upper back as we do this, or we're nice and pressing the shoulder blades in and into the back. And then come on back to a neutral spine. Inhale the arms up above the head. We'll take a nice side bend here. So take the right hand to the left wrist and lean over to the right side, keeping your ear to shoulder action very soft. Expanding with the breath back up to the ceiling, towards the ceiling, and then we'll take the left hand over the right wrist and lean over, swaying left ear softly toward left shoulder. And then we'll travel back up and bring those fingertips down as we transition again to the base of the mat. And we're going to take our path upward here by going up and down today, just changing our elevation, elevating the mood and our place in space. So we're going to take them ourselves into puppy pose by taking the shins to that blanket and reaching the arms out long. So this is like child's pose, but we're keeping those thighs 90 degrees to the mat, and reach the arms out long next to the ears. Bring the forehead to the mat. Inhale into the back body. Exhale, release. Feel the forearms just weighted on the floor. Spread the fingers. Again, the spine undulating and curving down. Sternum and heart come towards the floor. Come back up, lift the head up, your hands underneath you, and let's come into tabletop very briefly before curling the toes under and then lifting the knees off the mat, pushing away with your hands, keep the knees bent, and we're coming towards a forward bend. And on our way here, we can just simply move that blanket out of the way. And then take the palms to the mat so we keep the knees bent. We're coming into a forward bend, but we're going to support this by bending the knees and keeping that rib cage on the thighs. Inhale, just feel that half a breath. Your thighs in the belly, exhale. So this time that elevator might be moving down as we breathe out. And let's hang the head down and feel that traction. The weight of our head on the spine, the end of the spine. Shake the head yes and no. Very gently here. And then we'll come into a strengthener. So spread those toes, really maximize the surface of the bottom of the feet. Swing the arms up towards the sky. And then sweep them down. Fingertips graze the ground as we come off of the thighs and reach long. This torso, that long spine. Inhale down to the belly and exhale. Breath comes up that elevator as we feel the navel toning to the spine. Press through your feet, all the surfaces of the feet come on up. Arms just naturally move towards the sides of the body. And then you feel your feet on the ground. Take a full footprint so that it's nice, the toes are spread. We leave the perfect footprint in the sand. And feel that weightedness as if you're in sand when you're in that deep sand and you can feel that weightedness. Let's do this with our mountain pose. Let's take that energy of the legs together. So just energetically magnetize them and notice the muscles along the legs really liven. And then we get that nice toning through the glutes. And dropping the tailbone like a weight towards the heels. Find your center. This can be a practice that you do every day, wherever you happen to be standing. So let's open up the palms to greet the front body. So let's open them up towards the front. And notice the shoulders roll back, which is very nice and unrounding for the back. Now take the palms and let's bring them towards the body, but keeping our back unrounded. Beautiful. Inhale, exhale. Feel the support of the torso as you breathe out. And we're going to take a step forward. And with the right foot, and curl the back toes under. And we're going to come into a high lunge. I'm not going to flex those toes as much. They'll have a little injury there. But let's find a stance width that's comfortable for us. Keeping those hips pointing towards the top of the mat. We're going to come into a crescent lunge. So inhale, grow tall through the spine, and exhale, we're going to drop the hips and keeping those back toes curled under, and that back leg nice and long and straight. Now, find your gaze, find something still in the distance so we can keep ourselves balanced. Inhale, the arms above the head, bring ourselves into prayer position. Point the index finger up towards the sky, so we're in steeple hands. Clasp your fingers together. Find a soft gaze, a centered gaze. And then that gaze will look up again. That sky energy, bring it in. So bright, so let's brighten the body. Look up, roll the shoulders away from your ears. Beautiful, and sweep your arms out in a wingspan, and we're going to come around that front foot in a low lunge, keeping the back toes curled under. Magnetize your front foot to the back. Again, just like when we're standing up and we magnetize the legs together, you're bringing yourself more centered here. Excellent. Feel that energy. Sweep the right leg back. And we're going to come down to the knees or back into down dog. We're going to come into puppy or down dog. That's your choice. Bring the forehead down if you're in puppy. Find your breath. On your exhale, lift up, and we'll take our hands beneath our back to the path upwards. So take the knees and lift them off the mat. Come back, keep the knees bent. We're coming towards our thighs with the ribs, hanging the head down in the forward bend. Maybe you want to straighten the legs a little more this time, or bend one and then the other, but no force. Just come into that leg position that's comfortable for you. This time, let's take the thumbs to the elbow creases. So when you take the thumbs to the elbow creases, you're increasing that traction, that weight of the hand, the arms beneath the head, and you can feel the spine drape down. Inhale, exhale, cascade the breath down the spine. Let's come into chair again, release the hands, sweep the arms up behind you, sit back into that imaginary chair, watch that alignment with your knees, keep it healthy, and then we'll come up in the chair. So also notice your breath can work your core here. As you exhale, really see if you can squeeze the breath out, keeping the face relaxed. Now bring the gaze towards straight ahead as we come up to stand. Cascading ourselves forward with the left foot, keeping that back foot curled. So we're coming into a high lunge, crescent lunge. Find that width that's comfortable, where you can look around and still feel balanced. Front leg straight to begin with. Inhale, the arms next to the ears. Exhale, drop the ears away from the shoulders away from the ears as you drop the hips towards the floor. And find your lunge. Bring the hands together above the head. Steeple hands. And just feel the length of the spine here. Again, no striving, just find a nice foundation for your feet. Gazing up if that works for you. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive the arms around that front foot. And here we are in a lunge again. Feeling the length of the spine and the connection of the feet together. On your next inhale, see if that left foot can find the base of the mat. You can come into puppy or you can come into down dog with me and pedal the heels down to the mat. Or come into triads. If you feel like today you just want to bring the hips to the heels or roll onto the back, just take a moment anytime. That's completely a beautiful part of the practice. So we're going to come into down dog, just reaching back with the spine. So we're really using this to grow space in the spine. Now we're going to come forward into a plank very briefly. Inhale. So we lengthen the spine all the way through the crown of the head. Inhale. And notice the shoulders again, rolling away from the ears, free of tension, just strengthening through the back. And then we'll bring the knees to the mat. And we're going to cascade ourselves down. So tops of the feet come to the mat. We're just going to bend the elbows and cascade the spine down. Beautiful. Keep the hands next to the shoulders and your elbows glued to the ribs. Now the tops of the feet, let's wake those up again. Really press the toenails into the mat. Feel as you do that, your tailbone will naturally want to point towards the heels. And then inhale, peel yourself off the back, the head, shoulders, sternum. Exhale, follow that beautiful undulation down. Inhale through the back body. Exhale down. And then again. Beautiful. Take the arms next to the body and one ear to the mat. Your choice of ear, and sway the hips side to side. Excellent. Other ear to the mat. Sway the hips side to side. Now bring the forehead to the mat. We're going to come into Sphinx, which is an arching of the spine, but as we do this, definitely take it easy if your lower back has any trouble. So we just take the palms to the mat, feel the pull, and we're going to take the fingertips just like we're going into Cobra. Inhale yourself off the mat as if we're doing Cobra, but slide your forearms towards the top of the mat. And this is your base here, your anchor. Keep the palms down, keep the fingertips spread out, and we just feel an even pressure through the hands and the forearms. Roll the shoulders towards the base of the spine. And from here, let's keep a spine in the diagonal. So pointing the tailbone towards the heels, just feel the diagonal as you energetically pull towards the base of the mat with your arms, with the forearms. Keep the gaze down. And if this is enough for you, that's fine. If you want to go further, inhale so that the sternum, as if it had eyes, is going to look up and bring the gaze with you. I like our Sphinx. If, again, bothering the lower back, you just come lower down into a diagonal. And then we'll take the chin over the right shoulder. Trace that line back to center and over the left shoulder. And back through center, undulate down. Bring the forehead down for one breath rotation. And then on your exhale, roll onto the back. And we're going to hug the knees. So come onto the back. And bring the knees towards the chest. Just give a nice hug here, a closing in. Take the hands to the knees and gently circle the knees in one direction together. And then change direction of the circles. And then take the knees together in their neutral position. Find your sternum, find your sacrum, the base of the spine, and find that triangle. And imprint that shape on the mat as you separate the knees out into circles away from each other. Still noticing the geography of your breath, where it's going, what it's supporting. And then the hips, of course, you can bring that visualization to the hip joints. And then let's separate those, let's take those circles and change direction with circles. So they're coming towards each other. So every one of our movements is connected. It begins in one area, but it's going to travel. So in this case, really those hip sockets, that beautiful smooth ball in socket is our focal point. Excellent. So now we're going to come back and move up again, changing elevation again. So let's come onto the belly and transition to our tabletop very briefly. Feel that long horizontal spine. Exhale, curl the toes under. Feel free to reach out into puppy or come into down dog, lifting the knees off the mat and lengthening back. Feel that hamstring stretch of down dog if you're joining me in that. Bend the knees, walk the hands towards the feet. And we're simply going to fold up now to standing. Take the hands to the top of the thighs. Feel that fusion. Inhale into a flat back. And then just come on up. As we keep the energy of the legs together, stepping forward, taking that nice cascading step. This time planting the back foot, so we're coming toward warrior one. So make sure that back foot is at an angle and that it's comfortable for your knee. And then you're gonna set yourself up beautifully for warrior energy. Take the hips, joints towards the front of the mat. Inhale, those arms above the head, just like we were doing before. Drop the hips down and adjust your back foot. So the difference here is that before we were hinging those toes in the back, but now we're seeing if we can plant that foot down on the mat. Finding a strong base so that we feel like warriors. Bring the hands into prayer position. On your exhale, shoulders drop away from the ears. Draw a line down the center with your thumbs past our third eye, down past the throat and down to the heart. Pressing the hands together, see if you can find even more center of your center. Then bring the hands to the hips and just leaning diagonally forward, we're going to tiptoe forward to standing in mountain pose at the top of the mat. And then just turn around and we'll take it to the other side. So here we are, standing in mountain. Inhale. With our exhale, propel with the exhale, stepping forward with the left foot. Plant the right foot. So the geometry here, that back foot, about a 30-degree angle. Hips pointing forward. We're keeping that front knee nice and straight as we find our feet, the comfortable for our body that matches the comfort level of our body. Inhale, the arms above the head, prayer position above. And we'll bend the front knee, keeping it behind those middle two toes. Can you maximize the surface of the feet on the mat? And just really root down. Hip bones pointing forward. Remind yourself of your inner strength as you trace that line with the thumbs towards the third eye. past our throat down to the heart, pressing in through our fingertips. That simple action really waking up muscles in the back. Drop the hands to the hips, lean hinge forward, and then tiptoe up toward the top of the mat. Now we'll really find some grace and balance. If you want to grab a chair and have that nearby, you can do that. We're going to do dancer pose. Again, one of my favorites. The drishti, the gaze is very important with this pose for our balance. If you have a wall nearby or furniture, that there's absolutely, feel free to use that. So let's come to mountain pose. Pointing the elbow down, really feeling the length of the spine. Exhale, let's bring the weight to the left foot, and we're going to rise up with the right leg and keep that leg in a 90-degree angle. And knees match up here. So just find your balance here. Again, hips pointing forward, similar energy to what we've been practicing so far. And bring your left hand next to your left ear. Feel the length, even the connection between that foot, the right foot and the left hand, feel that connection. And now we're going to hinge, keep that length of your left leg. We're going to hinge at the hip and just tilt forward. Tilt forward slightly, keeping the hips even. Keeping the right angle on the leg. And keeping the gaze on a still point. And then hinge back up. We'll try the other side. Bring your right foot down and we'll switch the shift of the weight to the right. Bend the left knee. Inhale. Find that right angle. And you might falter, and that's okay. Inhale the right arm next to the right ear. And now we're just going to make that long line in diagonal by hinging at the left hip. And then back up again. And this time, the challenge, we'll take it to the left side again, bend the right leg. And if you want to echo what we just did, just do it again. Inhale the left arm up, finding that length. And then if you want an extra little bit to this dancer pose, you can see if your right hand can find the right foot. And when you do, if you do find that foot, you can step out when you need to, or hold on to the furniture. Press the foot into the hand. Find your tallness here and hinge forward. Only as far as you feel comfortable. You're not compromising that left leg. Got everything engaged and we're tilting forward. The heart is looking forward. The eyes find a steady point. And then come on back up. Release the foot. Find the center. Let's go to the staircase breath down, elevator up. Switch the weight to the right. Let's bend the left leg. Inhale the right arm next to right ear. And if you want to find left hand to left foot, no pressure though. Just if you stay in the right angle, just keep that tailbone like an arrow pointing to the base of this pose. And then we're going to tilt it at the diagonal, hinging at the right hip. Dancer pose. Sometimes I feel more like a flamingo pose. The inhale draws that energy upward. We come to standing, release the foot. Bring yourself to mountain. Find that steady energy again. Maybe things are fluttering. Find the steadiness. Great job. Let's come to the base of the mat. Let's come through chair pose. Inhale or forward bend, your choice. Inhale the arms next to the ears. Exhale, sit back. So we're going in the other direction. towards chair. And then release the spine down. Hands find the base of, find the mat. And then we just walk the hands out and onto the side. Grab a strap as we luxuriate in some hamstring stretches. Bring yourself onto the back. Soles of the feet on the floor. Bring the knees together, feet wide apart. Bring your right hand to the heart and left hand to the belly so we can practice that conscious breath cascading down the staircase to the base of the spine and up the elevator to the crown of the head. Observe the body here. Take a mid or we'll pass mid practice sweep through the body, noticing are there lingering areas of tension or resistance? Is the mind in a flurry? See if we can still that. Still the waters. On your next inhale, we'll take the knees, separate them out. Feet find hip width apart. And we'll take that strap and put it up. We'll take the inhale, the knee towards the right knee towards the face, and just find the strap. The ball of the foot finds the strap, and we hold them like reins. And find the angle of your right leg that's comfortable for you as you straighten it up towards the sky. And if you would like to do some acupressure, just take your strap and do a little pull it, push and pull here, pulling on either side along the base of your foot, like a teeny tiny towel. And you'll feel that warmth along the feet, thanking our feet for such hard work and evening out the energy. Let's bring the strap back to the ball of the foot, reaching up through the heel. And let's bend and straighten the leg. Follow your breath. Noticing points of resistance. And then we'll take that leg straight again. Guide the right heel towards the left hip. And as you do that, see if you can send that extra weighted energy into the right hip and draw the right hip down towards the base of the mat. So that's a subtle movement, right? But let's practice taking that hip towards the base of the mat and noticing the energy wake up along the back of the leg there. Bend and straighten the leg. Beautiful. Bend, straighten. And then let's bring that neutral back to the neutral foot and leg. And then take the strap into the right hand, and we're gonna take that leg all the way out to the right, but pressing through the strap so we make sure to keep that tension between the hands and the foot. Long through the leg, take the left knee out to the side of the foot on the mat. Connection still alive between the right and the left side, or you can straighten out your left leg and just feel again this nice rooted weightedness on your left leg as you reach out with the right. Back to the geography of our skeleton here. Base of the spine on the mat, traveling up the spine, we find the back of the ribs, the shoulder blades, the back of the head, back of the skull aligned with the sacrum. Feel the openness of the hips here. And then bend the left knee or take the foot back to the floor.
And we're going to guide the right leg across the center, rolling onto the left side. Let's allow the right foot to land on the floor softly. Take that strap into the left hand, and let's find this nice angle of our spine tall along the mat. So back of the skull aligned with our sacrum, the pelvis 90 degrees to the mat. And then we're taking our left leg and bending at the knee so it's a right angle. Right hand to the heart, elbow to the sky. Let's open up into a twist here as we also stretch the hamstring on the right leg. Reach out to the side, looking over your right shoulder, pressing through your left elbow. You can lift yourself up and melt behind you. Now there's no striving here as well, but we can take our right hand and maybe find the left foot behind us if you'd like a quad stretch. Take a moment to linger here, noticing the shape of the spine, especially the upper spine, the mid spine, coiling up towards the crown of the head. Celebrating this beautiful geometry of the body. Release the foot if you have that, and sweep your right arm up, and fingertips graze those clouds. And then we're going to guide the right leg up again onto our back. Another little luxuriating in this the hamstring here as we bend and straighten again. Keeping that left foot on the floor and nice and pressed into the floor, we're going to lift the right leg out long and guide its path down to the floor as you hold on to those straps. Keeping that strength of your right leg as you bring it down to the floor. So we feel that energy up the leg into the torso. Now take the strap to the side, take your left leg long, unwind yourself, close the eyes, and let's just visit the right leg and then visit the left leg with our mind's eye. Awareness of maybe some lengthening on that right side. So let's take the feet to the floor and even things out. Inhale the left knee towards the face. And then we're going to take that strap around the left foot, the ball of the left foot, rising up through the left leg as you feel the weight in the left hip. Find the angle that's comfortable for you, customize, please. And then we'll take that nice massage to the base of our foot. Thank you, feet. Bringing warmth. That kind of energy will travel up the leg to the hip. Back to the ball of the foot. Find the angle that's comfortable where you can bend and straighten. Just feel the dynamic energy through the back of the leg. Following the movement with breath. Straighten out the leg, slide the left heel toward the right hip. Keeping the feet, toes aligned with the knee, bend and straighten. Find the breath. The supportive breath. Really keeping that left leg, left hip rooted. Let's slide the leg across towards extreme left side, strap in left hand. As we reach long, feel that opening of the inner thigh. Drop the right knee out to the side or lengthen your right leg as if it's lead weight
Just weight it down so we keep the hips even. Meet any resistance with kindness, with just nice, no forcing, dropping the energy. You're releasing it through an exhale. The right foot finds the floor, and then we can trace that arc across the body with the left toes, left foot, and roll directly onto the right side. And the left foot just lands on the floor. Let's find our ankles again. Take the strap into the right hand. And then find your pelvis 90 degrees to the floor. Find the back of the skull and the base of the spine. Line them up. And then bend the right knee so that it's at our right ankle. Now we're ready to twist, do the twist. Take the left hand to the heart, elbow to the sky, inhale, the elbow across the sky, and then open up to the left. Feel the drop of the back body before you try going for any of the feet or anything. Feel the melting through the exhale. And the breath, that staircase breath, can still find its way to the base of the spine and then cascading upward up the elevator. If we press into the right elbow, you can maybe increase the twist a bit. And maybe the left hand wants to find the right foot for a thigh stretch or the full pretzel effect. The spine, this flexibility is pretty amazing of these interlaced vertebrae and how they can coil upward in such a graceful way towards the crown of the head. And then release your foot. Sweep those right fingers across the sky. Palms meet. And then we guide the left foot up. Yep, back up to the sky. Bend and straighten again. So we can really get into those hamstrings. And when we do, that energy is going to travel up to the lower back. And the lower back will experience a lovely freedom. Stretch it out. Wow. Yeah, and then release, bend the knee. And we'll come out to lengthen the legs, place the strap to the side. And just feel that energy down the legs, how you might feel a tiny bit taller in this neutral spine position. Let's take the feet to the floor so we can do some bridging. Take the knees up towards the sky. See if you can find the back of the heels with your fingertips, and let's line everything up so that we're hip width apart with the feet, hip width apart with the knees. And then we find the tilt, so we're using that curling up as the lumbar spine, lower spine comes down to the mat. So we take the curve out and then lift up, keeping the arms on the mat into a bridge. Take the fingertips, fingers, clasp them underneath the sacrum. And notice as you do that, wow, the shoulders just want to roll away from the sternum. Unrounding the back, keeping the knees nice and aligned, gazing up at the sky. So inviting in blue sky energy. Exhaling, put away what you don't need. But feel the sternum towards the chin, reaching, that undulation in the spine, and then release the fingers, and snake yourself down, keeping those shoulders open as you do so. Beautiful. Let's lift up again, snake up, keeping the arms length on the mat, this time towards the edges of the mat. And now we'll try a little bit of core work on our way towards the Shavasana class in a few moments. But we're going to take a weight into the left foot. So this is a balance challenge, keeping the hips high and elevated and even as we lift our right leg straight. And then bring the right foot down. Keep that right foot on the floor as we lift the left leg straight. Only do this as long as you can keep yourself nice and straightened out through those hips, and lift the other side and down again. Nice and steady. Into the midline. Even as you take the weight to either side. Breathe in and breathe out. Lift the hips together evenly one last time. Snake, bone by bone, yourself down to the mat. Oh, that's so lovely. So, to find our way down, right? Find the gravity. Excellent. Let's take a rolling twist. So we're going to keep our knees together. As we keep the knees together, we keep the integrity of our sacroiliac joint and just keeping everything even there. We're going to roll over onto the right side. So let's cascade ourselves over that way. Sweep the left arm to the sky, the palms find each other. Exhale. Find your angles that we were studying earlier and sweep the left arm to the sky. And then you'll begin to stretch across the arms, but see if you can keep those knees together as you transition to have them up towards the sky and then over to the left side. Keeping them as close together as you can and aligning the spine, and then sweeping the right arm up and right hand meets left. Inhale back, right arm arc across the sky, and naturally those knees are going to lift and we're going to roll to the other side. So feeling against dynamics, we're taking the left hand up, left meets right. Take it across again. Each time noticing maybe another little area of the spine that we've woken up. Follow this with your full breath. Rolling side to side, but always aware of our center axis point. And close the left side. Roll onto your back. And take the soles of the feet together, the knees wide apart. Take the arms next to the body, and we're going to reach them down towards the knees. So really full length of the arms pressing into the mat. Feel your strength there. Press the feet together. And then lift the hips just an inch or two off the mat. Bridging up and bridging down. And then up. Exhale down. And now on that last release, sigh it out. And just feel that our hips have been open. We've created dynamic warmth along the spine. We can just sway the knees side to side if that's comfortable for you. Rocking side to side. Supta Baddha Konasana. Fantastic pose to close a practice. Pressing through your elbows, lift the sternum up towards the sky, and let's bring the shoulder blades even closer together, and then exhale, melt down. Notice we're accentuating the arch in our graceful lower back. And yet the base of the back of those ribs are on the mat. Notice the breath. Is it flowing more easily than when we began? Can you leave something behind on the mat that you don't need anymore? Take the hands to the sides of the thighs and bring the knees together. Straighten out the left leg and the right leg. Take that palm, the arms beside you, and let's take everything into tension. So on our inhale, we're going to tense up into fists and tension through all of the body, head to toe. And then on our exhale, we can sigh it out and release everything. Inhale. Tight everything. Exhale, release. As you release, close the eyes, come back to our breath. Even just coming back to your autonomic breath and noticing again, that witnessing of our breath. Noticing the healing powers of yoga, just what it's done to us in just an hour together. Playing that witness. The beautiful cascade of breath. And now, let's bring that awareness to the whole body, noticing what areas are having sensation, others just kind of quietly in the background. Now with your whole body, imagining yourself weighted and heavy like lead, just everything made of lead. So just sinking that energy beneath you, heavy energy. Switch that energy to light energy. The whole body is lighter, light as a feather, floating easily. Then switch back to heavy. Take a few rounds of breath in this sensation of heaviness. And switch the energy to bright light, feather, light energy. Few rounds of breath, feeding this light energy, and exhaling. Now finding the balance between those two energies, the center, the balancing point between them, the harmonizing. Bring the awareness to the spine. And all of its points of connections throughout the whole skeleton, the whole body, arms and legs, skull, neck. Celebrating those connections that we're keeping so energized through our practice. Inhale, exhale, wiggle the fingers and the toes, bend the knees and the elbows, roll onto your right side, away from the heart. Easing yourself up to a seated position with your hands and allow the head to drape down easing, floating up towards the sky, feeling your spine longer than before. Inhale the arms, huge hug of the sky, prayer position down through center. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice today. See you next week. Namaste.